Hey guys, how's it going? This is video 3 of our 4-part series, and today it is time to get some dope shots. In video 1, we discussed which drone we recommended, as well as gimbal and camera system. In video 2, we discussed flying safety and best locations to get your shots. And now, it is time to get some cinema. So there are a few main types of aerial shots that you'll see in Hollywood in high-end cinema, and they range from epic intros to beautiful landscapes to car chase scenes. There are so many different kinds of shots that you can get from the sky, and they provide this production value and make it look like a ton of money was spent to get the shot. So there are a few principles involved in getting a successful shot, and we're going to go over those elements right now. So the first is composition. Focus on the rule of thirds and creating a really well balanced and dynamic frame. People's eyes are naturally attracted to symmetry and a really well composed image, so use that to your advantage when you're flying and when you're trying to tell a story. Second is speed. Sometimes it's necessary for the shot to have a really fast moving camera, and sometimes it's necessary for it to move really slow. It all depends on the setting, your subject, and what you want your final product to look like. Next is motion. Sometimes you require motion in the camera, or sometimes you require the subject to be moving, but it all creates a feeling. So whether you have it static, sitting in the air, or whether you have it panning, it all creates a feeling. So always incorporate motion into your shot if you need it. Next is depth. Having foreground, midground, and background can influence a shot greatly that otherwise could be boring. Pictures are two-dimensional, so using motion to create an illusion of a third dimension, which leads us to the parallax effect, which involves singling out your subject in an incredible way, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So finally, consider storytelling. Is the shot pushing in and introducing the stage and the characters, or is the shot pulling away and leaving the action behind? Motion can greatly influence the shot and the feeling, but you have to use it correctly. So with that in mind, here is our complete list of shots that we try to focus on when we're on set. So let's start simple. The easiest shot you can get with your drone is to simply put it up in the air and get a static shot of the motion happening. You can instantly make the shot cooler by adding a simple pan, or a simple tilt of the gimbal. So next up on the difficulty ladder is incorporating more speed and more motion into the shots. And the first on the lineup is a simple jib shot, and all you have to do is raise the elevation of the drone or bring it back down. And incorporating some foreground in the shot also makes it really cinematic because it gives it that sense of depth and the illusion of that there's a third dimension. Next up is a slider shot. You can just take the drone and simply go pan to the right, or you can pan to the left. Lastly is pushing in and pulling back. And with this stick configuration, you can introduce a character, or you could pull away from the action. And it definitely gives a really powerful feeling if you do it correctly. So once you have these basics mastered, you can combine two axes to create an even more dynamic shot. So we're going to tell you guys how to do that right now. Try flying the drone in an arc. This gives it another third plane of movement, and this introduces the parallax effect. The parallax effect is the same thing you experience when you're riding in a car and you're looking out the window and you can see the different layers of foreground and different layers of background all moving simultaneously in different speeds. So when you incorporate that into filmmaking and you can single out a subject on a wide landscape shot, it really gives that wow factor to cinema when you can make a subject pop out of the screen pretty much and you can see that third dimension. So when you combine these 3D pans and these 3D jib shots with an interesting subject and good lighting, you pretty much have cinema. So don't be afraid to try new things, to experiment and try composing new shots. It's really important to experiment because that's how you grow as an artist. It's really important to stretch and go beyond your normal ways of thinking. And having a camera that can be anywhere really allows that. A great example of getting creative is pointing the camera straight down and getting patterns in the ground, or whether you're filming roads or beautiful gardens. It's really cool to get artistic shots this way. So another thing we recommend is, now that when you're watching Hollywood movies, is to focus on the aerial shots and kind of imagine behind the scenes and how the shots were created, and then use those techniques to incorporate it into your next flight. With practicing and reviewing, you'll become a more proficient flyer, you'll be a more creative filmmaker, and you'll be able to compose incredible shots that will help you with storytelling and being able to share them with the world. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you guys are ready, move on to video 4 as we talk about color correction and making your footage look its absolute best before you share it on social media and the world. This is Gabe. See you soon.